Some stories are never finished. They're just filed away. Welcome to Chronicles of the Obscure. In the deep winter of the Alpine villages, as snow blankets the world in a quiet hush, a duality plays out. As St. Nicholas, the benevolent bringer of gifts, makes his rounds, a darker, more chaotic procession follows in his wake. Imagine the scene: the biting cold, the crunch of snow underfoot, and then a dissonant clamor echoes through the narrow, cobbled streets. Figures clad in shaggy fur and worn, splintered wood, adorned with horrific, hand-carved masks and ringing, discordant cowbells, march through the night. Their forms are monstrous, a blend of goat and demon, with long, pointed tongues and curving horns that slice through the frigid air. They are the Krampus. For children, peering from behind frosted window panes, the threat is primal and clear. Be good, or the Christmas demon will find you armed, not with presents, but with a bundle of birch branches to swat the naughty and a sack to carry the worst offenders away. But for historians and folklorists, Krampus himself is the real mystery. He has no official genesis, no sanctioned story. He is a folkloric anomaly, a terrifying, supernatural enforcer who exists in the shadow of a major religious holiday, seemingly at odds with its message of peace and goodwill. Where did this creature come from? How did he attach himself to St. Nicholas? And more intriguingly, why has this figure, repeatedly condemned, suppressed, and outright banned throughout history, not only survived, but thrived in the modern age? This is the cold case of a cultural phantom. Let's open the evidence locker and examine the artifacts of this enduring legend. The most tangible clues we have are the masks and costumes themselves. These are not mass-produced Halloween props. They are localized, ancient art forms. The masks, known as larvae, are often hand-carved from pine or linden wood, with grotesque visages of pure horror, deep-set eyes, snarling mouths, and imposing horns. They are frequently passed down through generations. Each chip and scuff mark a testament to their long history. The costumes, made from goat or sheep pelts, are heavy and suffocating, designed to completely transform the wearer. This physical evidence, while varied from village to village, consistently points to a single, recognizable entity. Then there is the ritual, the Krampuslauf, or Krampus Run. This is the primary living testimony of the tradition. Each year, usually on the eve of St. Nicholas Day, groups of men embody the creature. What begins as a parade can quickly descend into performative chaos. The air fills with the clanging of bells, guttural growls, and the screams of delighted and terrified spectators. The Krampus figures charge through the crowds, playfully menacing onlookers, their movements both lumbering and aggressive. It's a visceral, sensory overload: the smell of animal fur, the sound of cracking whips, the sight of demonic figures silhouetted against the snow. This ritual is not just a performance, it is the living, breathing record of the tradition, passed down through action rather than text. And that brings us to the historical record and its conspicuous gaps. If you search for Krampus in the Bible or in official church liturgy, you will find nothing. He is completely absent. His first documented appearances are in folk plays and manuscripts from the 16th and 17th centuries, where he is already established as the companion to St. Nicholas. This absence from official religious doctrine is our first major clue. It strongly suggests that his origins lie somewhere else entirely, in an older, pre-literate oral tradition that writing and religious doctrine failed to capture or chose to ignore. The silence from the church is almost as loud as the bells of the Krampuslauf itself. With the evidence laid out, let's move to the theory board. There are several competing ideas about where this Christmas demon truly came from. The prevailing scholarly theory is that of pagan survival. This theory proposes that Krampus is a Christianized descendant a holdover from a pre-Christian, possibly Germanic, pagan winter spirit. His goat-like features, the horns and the shaggy hide, may link him to horned deities of the wild forest and the winter solstice, a time when the veil between the human world and the spirit world was considered dangerously thin. Figures like the Greek god Pan or the Norse god Odin, in his guise as the leader of the wild hunt, share certain thematic similarities. According to this theory, the early Catholic Church, facing deeply ingrained local beliefs, found it easier to assimilate than to eradicate. Unable to stamp out the horned god of winter, they may have demoted him, transforming him into a demon who was subservient to, and ultimately controlled by, their own saint. A second, more sociological theory posits Krampus as a social control mechanism. In the isolated, tight-knit communities of the Alps, the long, dark, and isolating winter months were a time of great hardship. Maintaining social order, especially among children, was crucial for survival. Krampus, in this view, was a deliberately crafted, community-sanctioned boogeyman. The threat of a very real, supernatural punisher was a powerful tool for reinforcing moral behavior, obedience to parents, and the social norms of the community. He wasn't just a story, he was an annual, terrifying reminder of the consequences of straying from the path. He was the stick to St. Nicholas's carrot. Finally, a third theory approaches Krampus from a psychological angle. From this perspective, he is the externalization of a deep, universal human need, the shadow self. Christmas, especially in its modern form, is a holiday of relentless light, joy, and prescribed cheerfulness. Krampus represents everything that this curated perfection tries to repress: the dark, the chaotic, the primal urges that civilization pushes down. The annual release of the Krampuslauf, then, acts as a sanctioned, cathartic vent for these repressed energies. It allows the community to confront, acknowledge, and even celebrate the darkness within, all within a controlled, ritualistic framework before returning to order. He provides a necessary balance to the saccharine sweetness of the season. Krampus's history is not one of serene, unbroken tradition, but a cycle of suppression and powerful resurgence. In the 1930s, the Austrian fascist regime, allied with conservative Christian elements, banned Krampus celebrations, denouncing them as degenerate and socialist displays. The Catholic Church itself has repeatedly discouraged the practice over the centuries, viewing it as a pagan-adjacent embarrassment. Yet, after every ban, after every condemnation, he returned, often with even greater fervor, as if the attempts to erase him only strengthened his cultural grip. The modern echo of Krampus is nothing short of a global explosion. What was once a localized Alpine folk tradition has now gone viral. From American horror movies like Krampus to greeting cards, craft beers, and Christmas markets worldwide, he has been commercialized and reinvented for a global audience. This recent revival raises new, fascinating questions. When we wear a Krampus sweater or share a Krampus meme, are we genuinely connecting with an ancient archetype of winter darkness? Or are we simply consuming a spooky, countercultural aesthetic that offers an edgy alternative to mainstream holiday cheer? The mystery evolves from "where did he come from?" to "why does he resonate so powerfully with us right now?" His incredible survival and modern fame suggest he fulfills a role that our sanitized, commercialized holidays often lack: a direct, thrilling confrontation with darkness, and the acknowledgement that a little bit of fear can be a healthy and even necessary part of the human experience. Ultimately, the mystery of Krampus may never have a single, satisfying solution. He is a folkloric mosaic, a fragment of forgotten pagan belief, a pragmatic tool of social order, a powerful psychological archetype. His case file remains open precisely because he is not a static historical fact. but a living, evolving story that we continue to tell and retell. He challenges our neat understanding of how traditions are born, how they persist against all odds, and how they transform in the face of modernity. More than anything, Krampus proves that the most enduring mysteries aren't about what was lost to time, but about what stubbornly, defiantly refuses to be forgotten. What role do you think a figure like Krampus plays in a holiday season so focused on light and joy? Share your own interpretation in the comments below. And for more investigations into stories that hide in the shadows, subscribe to Chronicles of the Obscure.